you were waiting for me to load. I was trying to get my coffee filled up, and then I wondered why it wasn't filming, but it was because I had a sticker over the camera. Yeah, it's been... Hi, Stein. Hi, Chase, and Jenny, and Danny, and Zaville. Am I saying that right? And April, Rachel. Hey, Maureen. Hey. So, trying to think of what's been going on. Hey, Osimone and Avery, or, yep, Beth, Carrie's, Gerald is here, Jerry, Pantalina, Mary and Michaela, Taylor, oh, Wascally Wabbit in the house, Chelsea and Brittany, and Lisa, did I say that right? Laisa? Keely's here, oh, I've missed you guys too, and Courtney and Pantalina and Sadie girl, made it, woo! Yes, hello. Hey everybody on Facebook, if you have any questions, hop over to YouNow and check it out. I'm just saying hi to all the people as they come in. And Aurelia and Beth and Amelia. Whoop, whoop. Oh, we already have 334 likes. Way to hit it out of the park. And I've got my coffee. Okay, so truth be told, this week is kind of like a catch-up week and not a lot is happening, even though I'm still in my office and I see my clients. But so Sean and I have been allowing ourselves to sleep in a little bit. And it's been nice. So I'm still drinking coffee because I didn't have breakfast until 10 a.m. because I slept in and laid in bed. Ooh, Lithuania. That's really cool, Monika. All the way from there in German Kenyan. Heyo. Sean says heyo. Hey, Sean. Sean's here. I like to say hi to, oh, that was his thumb. I like to say hi to him too, you know, because he's hanging out too. So anyway, so Sean and I took a week off, and if any of you don't follow me on Snapchat, you don't know that it was kind of stressful actually going home. I love going home, and I have a great relationship with my family, but my grandma, on my dad's side, she had some mini strokes before I got there, and I got a call. She went to the hospital on Monday, and Sean and I flew out on Tuesday, and Tuesday morning, my mom called me, and she's like, I have some bad news, your grandma's in the hospital. Oh, hi from Peru, my rest, am I saying that right? And so anyway, she was having some small strokes, so she went to the hospital because she was talking like this, and she was really worried because she couldn't move her tongue, and it felt really fat in her mouth, she said. She didn't fall down or anything, but she couldn't really feel the fingers on her right hand. And so anyway, so it was really kind of scary, and, you know, I'm closest to those grandparents, so I was like, oh my God, but it's weird. I don't know if anybody else feels this way. It's weird when you have something like that happen. You don't really know, like I didn't know if I should even be upset or cry because things could be okay. You know what I mean? It was like we were kind of just waiting and waiting to understand more because she didn't have any damage at the time. Like her speech came back, they put her on a blood thinner, her feeling came back in her fingers, so we were thinking everything is fine. But I didn't know, but I was still worried, obviously. And then they took her up to Swedish Hospital in Seattle, and she got surgery on one of the veins in her neck. So both of her, I'd assume carotid arteries, I forget which arteries they were, but both the veins in her neck, they'd done some, I don't even know, like some scopes on them, and one of them was so clogged with blood clots that they had to go in and take them out. But everything went okay. The surgery was great. Sean and I went to pick her up on Christmas Day. And yeah, she's okay, so she's in recovery. Oh, thanks, Pantalina. Happy New Year. I love the fireworks. I love fireworks, you guys. I'm not gonna lie. That's why the 4th of July in the States is like one of my faves. Thanks, Pantalina. Hey, everybody. So anyway, everything's fine with my gram, but I may go back to Washington sooner rather than later just to spend some time with her because I know it was really scary for her. And, oh, thanks. Is it Georgie? It went by so fast. And Keely. Woo, woo, woo. So, yeah, I think she's doing well. She's got a gnarly, like, thing. Oh, thanks, Jackie. A gnarly cut on her neck from the surgery. It's, like, comes all the way across. It's really scary, and I hated to see her like that, but she's fine. She like wouldn't let me help her get out of the car, wouldn't let me help her up the stairs. She's a stubborn woman, like other people that I know. I didn't fall far from the tree. Almost all the women in my family are extremely stubborn. So anyway, that was like Christmas time, and it was good to see my mom and everything. And I'll show you guys if you're interested. People do this on YouTube, but this isn't something I necessarily do. But I got some really cool gifts, so I'm going to put them on Instagram and my stories if you're curious what I got, because I got spoiled this year. Yeah, so that's really what I've been up to. And she's from T. Shenning says she's from Woodland. I know where Woodland is. I grew up in a small town just outside of Olympia in Washington, so I'm a little south of Olympia. I don't know how well you know Lacey, the Lacey area. That's where I'm from. So, yeah. Anyway, okay. Yeah, the old women in Brittany's family are super stubborn, too. It's you know, I don't think it's a bad thing. At least we don't, you know, get pushed around. Stand our own. Sometimes I'm sure it drives Sean crazy, but he, you know, he loves me. We've been together, I realized, when we were home, because one of my girlfriends from, like, high school came over and brought her daughter, and she's like, how long have you guys been together? And I'm like, it's been, like, it'll be 9 years this coming year. And we met in June, and we got married in July. Not the same year. We were together 5 years before we got married. But, yeah, it'll be that long. Time flies when you're having a good time, you guys. Okay, is everybody else's, oh, hey, Carly, and Allie, everybody, and Pantalina, and everybody, woo, woo, woo. Oh, your posters arrived. Pantalina got the posters. Do you guys see them behind me? Hey-oh.
They don't see them. Oh, now they do.
Healthy mind, healthy body, process not perfection. And I actually just received some to give away, so I'm putting that in my think tank to figure out how I want to do a giveaway. I just have 3, so, or actually, I think I have 2 of each. I'll have to look. But anyway, I want to do a giveaway, but I have to figure out what. Oh, thanks, Danny Haas. Yeah, so I'm just trying to figure out how I give them out, and what do you guys think we should do? I like to get creative, so it takes me a little while. I have to, like, workshop it. But I got them, and they're sitting right here. See? Some extras so I can give them out to you. And so I've got to figure out how we do that and how we want to do the winning of those, you know? Okie dokie. Oh, very cool, Kimberly. I hope you like them. I think they turned out really great. I know that I'm totally partial, and I understand, but I just really like them. Okay. Enough of our introductions and to tell you what's been going on. Let's get into some of your questions and some of your comments. Okay. Oh, Maggie, well, I hope you feel better. It's okay. You can watch this. This will be on Tumblr if you want to watch it on there. It'll be on YouTube if you want to catch the replay. I know that it's very different when you're watching it in a replay, and I've heard from some people that they're like, I don't like that you jump around and stuff, but that's the nature of a live stream. So if you're watching this later and you're already frustrated, I apologize. But that's why it's good to catch them live, because you can see what I'm interacting with. Because when you're on YouNow, you see all the comments. You see when people are, like when Pantalina sent me the fireworks, or Keely gives a tip and things like that. And so you get to see what's really going on. And that's why I'm interacting like that, because it's just a really cool thing. You guys, we already have 3,100 likes. Ooh, thanks for the likes, Fatma. Am I saying that right? That's such a cool looking name. Okay. Carrie T asked for therapy break tips. I think that's something that I missed, and I apologize that I missed this holiday season, and maybe one we put in the think tank for next year. But when we're taking breaks, because that happens in the holidays, right? Almost all of our therapists and treatment team people, I think we talked about this in another live stream, is that we all take breaks, right? We take holiday too. And so what do we do when we're forced to have those breaks? And because the holidays can be really hard, right? So I think something that I would recommend is putting a plan together with your therapist. Now, I understand that I'm like a certain type of therapist. I do mainly behavioral techniques. That's why I work with self-injury and eating disorders primarily, because even though I can do the work of where it comes from and figuring out what started the problem and healing it, a lot of what I do is like structured homework, behavioral techniques and things to help move you forward. And so when you're going to take a break, I would encourage you for your last session with your therapist to put a plan together. And that can be things you're going to do, different days, what homework assignments you have while you're taking the break. It can be all sorts of things like that. And so I would encourage you to do that. But if you've already had your last session with your therapist and you're not going back and you're still taking a break and it's really hard, I would encourage you to then do some things for yourself like that. Like what would your therapist normally have you do? Are there things that you already do each week? We want to make sure we continue that so that we can continue the work in therapy even when we're taking a break. And make sure you have a support system set up, people you can talk to and reach out to, because I find, oh, Sean moved my water. I find that is, that's what really gets us, it makes us feel worse, is because we're out of our routine and we don't have, a set of people to support us. And so doing that ahead of time, making sure we're doing that, can keep us on point and in check. Thanks, Allie and Sean, for inviting your fans. So for any of you who don't know, you can invite your fans that are on YouNow by using that little, it looks like a greater than sign with the little dots. Pew, pew,
it's right next to the thumbs up.
It's right next to the thumbs up button. And you can share that so that your fans know about it. And you can also click on the video screen itself, and then you can let people know. You can capture a moment
That
and
way
put
we
that.
get trending.
Yeah, and that makes us trend. Like, you know, when we see we are trending right now. So it kind of helps us move along, helps more people know that we're going live. I know some people still struggle with the, thanks, Allie B. That's what I'm going to call you from now on, Allison. But that helps people know that we're live because some people still struggle with the time change and stuff like that. Time difference, I guess. Not change, difference. Thanks, Jer. Okay, everybody, let's get to a few more questions. And as always, get ready to guest. I'm going to try to guest as many of you as I can. And I also have some questions on Patreon. And if you don't know what Patreon is, if you're new, if you're old, I'm sorry, but bear with me for a hot minute. Patreon is a way for you to support the Kati Morton channel. We reached one of our goals, like I think a month or two ago, and what that goal meant is that the money that people were giving to support my channel each and every month allowed me to have a specialist come on and film 5 videos with us. And so those will be coming out in January. Every Monday in January is going to be one of those videos. And Patreon is just a better way to support the channel, although nothing changes for you if you're not able to support. If you are able to give anything from $1 to $50 or $100, whatever you can give each month, you get rewarded accordingly. And so there are different rewards you get because of what you give, and that could be extra videos, and that could be getting your questions answered in a live stream. It's all sorts of things like that. So anyways, that's what Patreon is. And if you're curious, you can go to, Sean, can you put the link?
Yep.
Sean will put the link so you can go check it out. Oh, he already did. So anyways, yay. Okay. So let's get into, Nazanine's terrified of the free spin, but it's so fun. Although it does make a lot of noise, I found. Did you guys see there was another Kenyan who had her own live stream at the same time as my live stream? And I went on because she stayed on longer, and the free spin, I was like, wow, it's so loud, doing so much. But anyway, okay. Courtney, you're asking to talk about cams, please. Could you let me know a little bit more specifically, like what you're wanting to know? I can tell you what I know about it as far as how long the waits are, and it can be kind of shitty, but I want to know a little bit. It does sound like a casino, Carly. But anyway, let me know a little bit more, and I'm happy to talk about it. Just give me a little bit more specifics. Okay, Haley's saying, if I've only purged a certain number of times, does it still count as bulimia? It counts as bulimia if we're using it as a compensatory behavior to overeating or whatever we consider overeating. It doesn't have to be a certain amount of food. It doesn't have to be a certain number of times. I know that diagnostically speaking, you can watch my bulimia video and it'll tell you how long it has to go on for in order for it to be diagnosed as bulimia. But if we're using food and the restriction of food, thanks, Keely, that's so sweet of you. It's so helpful. Whoop, whoop. Then if we're using it that way and we're doing certain behaviors as a way to manage what's going on inside, like feelings, we're using it to cope with something, it's an eating disorder. It may not be diagnosable yet because it hasn't been going on as long as, you know, diagnostically, like what needs to happen in order for it to be diagnosed. But nip it in the bud. Talk to somebody about it now. The sooner we get help, the better. Okay? Ooh, casino. I know. Sorry, guys. I need chapstick. Does anybody else, you know, sometimes you just really need some chapstick. Okay, so the cams thing, did she get back to us, you guys, about what she wanted to know about cams? I'm looking for Courtney, Casino Carly, whoop, whoop. Let's see. Yeah, and Lily says cams was really bad for me, and I know from a lot of, and I don't know if this is your question, Court, you can let us know, but I think that something about, I do have a lot of beverages. Sorry guys, I'm putting on my chapstick. But anyway, I think that cams in a lot of the socialized medicine realm, I think that people end up waiting really long periods of time for help because everybody gets it, which really means nobody gets it very well because, ooh, thanks, Allie. I love the fireworks, you guys. These are my favorite. Yay, yay, yay. Maybe we should go see, do they have fireworks in our area? I wonder if LA has fireworks for New Year's because I want to see them. Thank you, Allie. That was really cool. So, anyway, okay. So Courtney says, I went 2 years ago. Ooh, more fireworks. Woo, 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 woo. Thanks, Angelica. It's like a party, you guys. It's like we're having a party. Okay. Courtney says, I went 2 years ago. I just love the fireworks and didn't get a further appointment, but my mom found my, self-injury tools and I'm scared she'll phone them. Okay, so as far as cams works, if you're under 18, I believe that you do have to go, well, in general, you have to go to your GP and get a referral to the mental health portion of it to see a psychiatrist or a therapist or a psychologist. That's kind of like the avenue. And let me know if I'm wrong, you guys, but this is just my understanding of it. I know it is a New Year's party. Woo, woo, woo. So that's how that works as far as getting help. And as far as your mom calling and them reaching out, it would be more that she could call just to get you an appointment. There wouldn't be something that's going to happen unless she called like I don't know what the version of it that you'd have would be, but it'd be like calling the cops on you and having them come because she thought you were suicidal. And so she may call so that you actually get an appointment. But in my experience, it takes forever. We wait on a ton of lists, like in the NHS and the CAM system. We just wait forever to get to see someone. And then they're like, okay, you get like 6 sessions. And it's terrible. And so, like I've said before, if any of you are not, if you've been watching me for a while, you know that one of my like global goals is for us as a community to get large enough and powerful enough that we can make changes to mental health care system so that I can talk to members of parliament and people, who I don't even know in the States. I'm trying to think of who it would be that runs our healthcare system. But like, even if I'm talking in different cabinet members and things like that to start to make change, because our mental health care system is so broken and it's so bullshitty, and I just would like to change that. I would like to make it better. So, ooh, fireworks again. Yay, yay, yay. Of course, Jory. Ooh, thanks, B. Griff. Is it Brian, Ben, Brittany? What's the B? But B. Griff, it reminds me of like, I don't know, like a cartoon name. I like it. Thank you for the fireworks. Okay. Ooh, thanks, Layla. I always remember Layla because of SVU, because I love crime, and I can't help myself. And thanks, Fiona. You guys are so generous today. And Dawn to Dusk, that's cute. Clever names. I like them. Zing. Okay, so Tiny Dancer says that CAMS was really good for her, but it was about 15 years ago. And things do change, and I have heard from one of my very first viewers of all time, Mondi. She was in the UK, and she went through CAMS, and she had a great experience. She said everything went really great. And I don't know, I'd love to hear you on Facebook. I'd love to hear all of your experiences with it so that I can be better aware. Thanks, Ice Vanessa. Woo, woo, woo. So many fireworks. It is a New Year's Eve party. Well, it's not New Year's Eve yet, but it's a New Year's party. We can celebrate whenever we want. Oh, and Bradley's asking, what is CAMS? CAMS is the healthcare system. Oh, thanks, Autoimmune Amber. Is that what it's called? I think that it's like cuts off your name a little bit. Thank you for the fireworks. But CAMS is something that it's like in the States, it would be like us calling it Medicare or Medicaid, or your insurance policy. It's to do with your healthcare system, and it's what they all are given. Oh, B. Griff, thanks again. Woo, 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 woo. It is like a party, you guys. So exciting. Okay, Layla says, I think I have PTSD or something else besides anxiety. I can't talk to my parents, and I don't know how to deal. I'm just curious. This is always my first question. What is it about telling your parents that makes it so hard? Are you worried that they won't be nice about it? Are you worried that they're not going to believe you? Because in my experience, parents, if we do it properly, if we explain to them what's going on, like I've said before, like how to tell someone that we're struggling, you need to do it succinctly, exactly what's going on, really quick to the point, what you need from them. And that's really it. I mean, there are other things I've talked about that you can mention, but sometimes just keeping it really short and sweet and to the point so they understand, oh, they were the ones that hurt me. Well, then the silver lining to that shitty situation, Layla, is that if our parents are like our perpetrators or someone who has harmed us, then you can get help without them knowing. Because if there's a reason, or at least this is in the States, this is California, and I think all through the States, because I've talked to many of you, that if they are our perpetrators, we can get help without them knowing or without them finding out by just telling that to the therapist. Because as a therapist, I can see someone, if they're 13 years of age or older, are able to, participate in therapy, like cognitively, are able to pay the copay or whatever the cost is for the therapy without doing anything illegal or stealing from their parents, anything like that. And, if there's a reason for the parents not being involved, that's a reason. You could tell them, okay, Maureen's saying it's the same in the Netherlands. So, yeah, I mean, I think that getting help is something that I would encourage you to do, and you don't have to tell your parents, and know that they don't have to know. And you can say that from the get to the person that you see, like your school counselor or therapist or psychologist, whoever you get in to see, to let them know that that's why they're not involved, okay? Thanks, Allie B. Oh, Keely, you've got this. No need to give up, you guys. Let's show Keely some love. She's having a hard time. And I know things are hard right now, and a lot of us feel overwhelmed, and we keep feeling like we're just barely getting up, and then, we slip back down, but know that things will get better, and we can get out of it, and we have the whole community to support. Okay, so B. Griff, thanks for all the fireworks, says, it must be a two-parter, says, I can't stop having suicidal thoughts as my pain has become unbearable. I'm going to look for the first part, B. Griff, and see, regarding chronic pain and depression. So the thing about chronic pain, and there's a couple things, and I have a whole video about chronic illness that you can watch if you're curious, if you want more information about it. But when it comes to chronic pain and depression, I totally understand where you're coming from. I know that it sucks, and to be uncomfortable continuously and feel like nothing's better, it obviously makes us consider suicide or feel really shitty or feel like there's no hope. But the one thing that has been the most helpful I've only had 2 clients, okay? So that it's a very small number of people I've worked with personally, but I've heard from thousands of you who struggle with chronic illness or chronic pain. And the best thing that you can do for yourself is to advocate to get into a group of others who struggle. I know that sounds really crazy. Like, why would I want to hear other people's stories about it? But it can feel so good to vent this to someone who understands. Like, I can say, I understand, but I'm not in it. And it's so much more powerful when someone's like, I'm there too. And this is something that helped me. And I think that learning from other people's experience and just having the conversation and having a safe place to vent can be super, super helpful. And also, depending on your situation, getting other opinions from other physicians. Sometimes seeing a different specialist can help render a better result and make sure that we get the help that we need so that the pain subsides or is more manageable. I know that I work with a lot of psychiatrists who do pain management as a specialization. And that's something that I think, we can definitely advocate for ourselves for. So I would try that out. Oh, thanks, Keely, for the fireworks. Woo, woo. I promise it'll get better, Keely. Hang in there. We're here rooting for you and supporting you. Okay, let's guess somebody. Are you guys ready? And then I'm going to pop over to Patreon and answer a question there. Okay, let's see. Aurelia, I don't know if we've made you a guest before. I'm going to try to do some new people, you guys. Are you ready? Ready?
And if it doesn't connect properly.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So what's going on?
Not much. Merry late Christmas. Happy early New Year.
Same to you.
Yeah. I've tried for so long to be able to guess, and either my phone hasn't worked or it kept glitching, and it's never happened. So
well, yeah, today's the day. We just got to keep trying. It's weird. Sometimes it'll show people, and then I go to guess them, and they're gone. And I'm like, what? So
yeah, and then I was like, I don't even know if I'm doing this right. So
you and me both, but we're working on it. We're getting better.
yeah. Okay. So I sent a question on the website that you answered about mandatory reporting / being thrown into foster care, all that.
I remember that question. Yeah.
Fun stuff. Well, I'm 1 month in, by the way.
Okay.
With the new fams.
Okay.
I'm ready to be 18. I'll just say that.
I know.
Yeah. I'm ready to be 18 and be, quote, grown up. So I can go back to living by myself, because I've been living by myself since I was 13.
Yeah.
So,
I know.
and then my parents were super shitty anyways. So,
and,
yeah. So but it's okay. I'm making it. It's just not easy. And I came in right at the holidays. So I'm spending all this time with a bunch of random strangers that I don't know, because I have my foster family's parents and stuff, and their brothers and sisters, and yeah, it's confusing. Yeah. So Thanksgiving and Christmas, they were everywhere, and I'm just the weirdo that got thrown into the family.
Right before the holiday. Yeah, ick.
Yeah. And so it's just been really weird. And then last night I had to go back to the town like where I was sexually assaulted, and so last night I had really bad nightmares. And
Yeah, of
today
course.
my anxiety has been like way up there, so I'm just kind of having a chill out day.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're taking care of yourself, and I know that it's a shitty situation. Like, I know we talked about it on the website, and I know that it feels terrible and it feels like a violation, and I understand where you're coming from. And unfortunately, as a therapist, we're like required to do certain things, and we might not always like it, but it's like a legal thing, you know, and so it sucks. But continue to take care of yourself and make sure you're making time to do what you want to do and to feel like you're still your own person. Like, no one can take that away from you. I know it sucks to be where you're at, but it may be okay, right? We're only a month in.
Mm-hmm.
I know that we are waiting to be 18, but often if we just focus on ourselves and working on ourselves, the time will fly by. We may even improve on how we're feeling in general, and it can make you even feel better when you do get back out on your own, you know, and take advantage of this time where you don't have to worry about paying certain bills or doing certain things. And
that's true. That's like one interesting thing about it is because since I have been independent, I have been paying bills and
since
and so like now I'm like, they've cut my hours a lot because they don't want me working full time right now.
Yeah.
I've cut my hours a lot. I don't have to pay anything. I've got a new phone and a weighted blanket. So like, weighted blankets are.
I thought I saw you say you got a weighted blanket for Christmas. Aren't those nice?
It's like heaven. I have it right here actually.
Yeah, they're like the best.
Like 16
so soothing.
Pounds. Yes, it weighs like 16 pounds. Before I go, I have a quick question. So I got on here because I kind of like, I know that a lot of people that are on your chat part of your website look at all these videos, and I kind of like want to just like apologize for something that happened like a month ago. Would that be cool?
That's totally cool. That's of course okay.
Okay, so I'm sorry to all you chat people because the night I found out that I was being taken out and put in somewhere else, I kind of blew up on you guys, and it wasn't directed towards you guys, it was directed towards the situation, and you guys were the only people that I could really talk to in that moment, and instead of being cool and cordial, I just freaked out. So I'm sorry, it was a lot of stress, and my brain just, it snapped, and it's not me. I'm a really cool, nice person, and I'm sorry if I offended anybody.
Yeah, and it's okay. We forgive you. It's hard in the moment, right? It's like, where are we going to vent it? And that was the one place to vent it.
Yep.
But thank you for apologizing. I'm sure all the Kenyans, you know, they forgive you. Come on back and chat again. Have a wonderful
Okay. You have a good Happy New Year.
Yeah, you too. I'm glad it worked out this time.
Yes.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, Aurelia. So cool, you guys. And it's true, like, sometimes when we don't have anywhere else to vent, we're going to vent in the chat or whoever's there listening, right? Like, that's why people always say, oh, we hurt the ones closest to us first, because that's who we're going to interact with. And if we feel like shit and we're going through a hard time, which she was going through a really hard time, you know, it can be the one place that we do those things. And we're all guilty of it. And, of course, we forgive you, Aurelia. It's fine. I remember when that happened, and I remember you telling me about that. So, oh, your birthday's on the 30th, Miranda. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Today is her birthday. Da, 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 da. Isn't that a song? Okay. Let's see. Yeah, and Keely agrees. Ooh, look, you guys. More fireworks. Thanks, Angelica. And I saw, oh, I love the fireworks. They're the best. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But I saw a lot of you giving tips while I was guesting Aurelia, so I want to thank you all so much. I think it was Erica and Carrie, and there were a bunch of different people, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember all the names. But thank you so much for all your support. It really helps. And thanks, Keely. Whoop, whoop. Oh, and Lucy's birthday's tomorrow, you guys. Lots of birthdays in December. Thanks for all the, you guys, 8,000 likes already. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Awesome, Fabs. I'm glad that this makes your week. It makes you feel a little better and more loved, because it's just, you know. Oh, hey, Jennifer. She finally made it in. Whoop, whoop. Okay. Let's do a Patreon question, and then we'll guest some more of you. How does that sound? Does that sound like a good thing? I think it sounds like a plan. What do you guys think over there on Facebook? Do you think it's a good plan? And if you haven't been on Patreon, you can check it out. That's where I'm going for my questions right now. It looks like we have 23 of them. Ooh, so many. Okay. Let's see. Okay, this is a question. It says, I'm probably going to miss both of these, which makes me sad. Oh, bummer. We can watch this when it replays. But I have a question regardless. Since I was about 12 or 13, which is also when I started to experience symptoms of depression that I'm now diagnosed with, I've been attaching to a lot of female teachers and role models in media. And from listening to your videos on attachment, I've decided that that's what it is. However, my mom has always been there for me and cared for me as I needed. And over the years, I've also come to realize that I'm gay and that those attachments could just as well have been crushes, only they don't feel like it. How can I tell them apart? And if I attach to a female teacher, why? I think this is a really good question, you guys, actually. And so I think part of it is the reason that they're talking about my old attachment videos. If you want, search on YouTube, Kati Morton attachment. I talk about how when we don't get the love that we need and deserve when we're children, when we're babies, when we cry and maybe they're not there for us, or when we try to express something to them, they say it's not okay, we tend to slowly feel like we have a void. I have a video coming out next Thursday about this a little bit more, because I have a book that I really recommend. It's called The Emotionally Absent Mother. And so with that in mind, we often, if we have that hole where a mother hasn't been, or we haven't gotten the love from a mom that we wanted, then we will take another female in our life who's like consistent, like a teacher, or it could be someone in media because we're watching them and like, wow, they're so perfect and they say everything I want to hear, and we start to build them up. And so we can try to put them in that void and to try to heal attaching to that person, like making them become kind of our mother. Thank you, Jalen, for the tip, and Emily for the likes. And so that's usually where attachment comes from. However, that's not always the case. Just like this person asking this question, my mother was always there for me. So why am I still attaching to people? And it could be a couple of things. And I'll address secondly her, talking about being gay or not, and then being crushes or not. Often when we attach too easily, it could be a result of us struggling with, there's a lot of things. Something else just popped into my head, but past trauma. So it doesn't have to be that our mom wasn't there. It doesn't have to be that she didn't love us the way we wanted. It could be that we had a really, really traumatic event that left us feeling a little shaky, and it could be a borderline personality disorder. If many of us struggle with attachment and knowing what's healthy, it isn't always necessarily our mom or parents' fault. It can be difficult for us to decide what we need and want, and we want so much love, but then it feels really unsafe and we push back, and so it can leave us feeling insecure about our attachment, about feeling loved, and it's almost like we don't have like a secure foundation from which we can jump, and so we try to find other things to I always like to think of it like cement, like we're filling in a foundation, and it's like something happens to us, like a trauma, right? And it digs out that cement, and then we go in search of other people with cement to try to pour it in, to fill it in. And if it's not filled in and we don't have this full safe foundation, we can't go out and safely and healthfully attach to people where it's fine if they go and it's fine if they come. Instead, if they try to go away, we feel really icky about it. And if they get too close, it can sometimes feel unsafe and we want to push them away. And so that's kind of part of where that comes from. Does that make sense? I know that's it's the best way I can describe it. I hope that kind of helps. And so anyway, so that's kind of my thoughts on that. Regarding the question of whether or not it's because she's gay or not, a crush versus attachment is very different, because a crush is someone that we want to, there are similar things. Like we want to spend a lot of time with them. We want to see them. Oh, thanks, Bradley. Thanks for the fireworks. Yay, yay. So, okay, good, Jennifer. It made sense. Sometimes it's hard for me to, hard for me to explain and make sure that you get it. But then as far as whether it's a crush or an attachment thing, I think it's honestly, do you want to make out with them? Do you want to hug them and kiss them? And is it physical? Do you want anything like that? Is it romantic? Because there's a big difference between things being romantic and thinking that they're just so perfect and everything's great versus I just really like you around. It makes me feel safer. I just really want you to be in my life like a mom, like a very loving, caregiving thing. And romantic relationship and caregiving can overlap, but they really don't at the beginning. And if infatuation feels more like, ooh, I get nervous when they're around and I get so excited, that should not happen with attachment. That's not the same sensation. So I hope that kind of helps us, separate that out. Okay? I hope that that answers your question. Okay, let's see. Oh, and Marilee, am I saying that right? I'm sorry. Mary Linnea says, if you have BPD, what would be the best therapy option? Oh, yes, Nazanin, I can make a video about it, and I'll have one coming out on Thursday. Let me know if you have more questions in the comments of that video. But as far as the best therapy for BPD, it is dialectical and behavioral therapy, DBT. I have some videos about it, and I have some more. I actually will be doing some more on like Dear Man. There's different techniques and tools that we use when we do DBT, and I'll be doing some more follow-up videos on that in the new year. So something to look forward to. Oh, and if you're subscribed to my channel, I've heard from a lot of you, and I got some comments saying that they were unsubscribed, and I know that's I'm not going to get into it. I know a lot of YouTubers are talking about it, my YouTube channel, but I know a lot of people, ooh yeah, 10,000 likes. A lot of people were saying they were unsubscribed or weren't getting notifications. So if you go to the homepage of my channel on YouTube, next to the subscribe button off to the side is a little bell, and you can hit the bell and that will send you notifications when I release the videos. So you'll get a notification today because the live stream is going to go on there. You get a notification on Mondays and Thursdays because that's when the other videos come out. So I hope that kind of makes a little sense because some people have been saying that they don't get that. But I have videos on my YouTube channel about DBT, and you can watch more for that, but that's the best therapy, and CBT is a close second. Thanks, Bradley. Woo woo. Okay, Bradley's given all of the fireworks. Are you waiting to be guested or anything? I was going to look and see if I could guest you. Or do you have a question? Okay. I was looking to see, Bradley, let me know. I'm happy to guest you if you want to come in and say hi. I don't see you in there. Okay, but I'm going to try Francine. And Bradley, I'll look for you. See if you're in the queue for the guest. Let's see what Francine has to say. It always takes forever to connect. So silly.
Hi.
Oh, hi. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Are you on Wi-Fi connected? It's kind of cutting out. Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
I don't know.
Okay, you can try ask your question. I can hear you. Yep.
How do I
Oh.
parents getting away of getting help?
Oh no. Oh, Francine, do you want to ask your question in the comments, in the chat? It's not going through. Oh. Okay. Francine, put it in the chat and I'll answer it. Sorry, I don't know why sometimes it just, yeah, be our guest, be our guest. Thanks, Emily29. Forgot where I put my water for a second. So, oh, you don't have to broadcast, Bradley. You can ask your question in the chat as well. I'm just waiting to see if... Okay, Francine, how do I deal... Oh, thanks, Bradley. Thank you so much for all the fireworks and all the support. Woo woo. It's really a party. Okay, so Francine's question is, how do I deal with parents getting in the way of getting help? The truth of it is that, like I'd said before, we can get help without having our parents involved. It's just, it has to be very specific. And the fact that they are hindering your ability to get the help that you need is truthfully all that we would have to say. So you can see someone on your own if you're 13 and older, if you can afford the copay or whatever the cost is of seeing a therapist, and you're able to participate fully in therapy, which I would assume you totally could. And then, you know, that's really it. And so, and there's a reason for not having your parents be involved, which would be that I've tried to get help and they keep stopping me. And so you can go ahead and make your own appointments. You can talk to your school counselor. You can reach out to a therapist going through your insurance to make sure that you can afford it. All things like that. That's really the way that, that we can get help without, you know, getting our parents involved, or if they're having a hard time or they're not wanting to help us or they're stopping us. Those are the things that we can do because you have rights to, you have the right to feel better and to get the help that you need and deserve. Okay. Oh, thanks, Jennifer. I'm glad that I can brighten up people's days. Okay. I'll try to guest you again, Bradley. You want to be our guest, be our guest. Why don't I see you in the queue? Let's see. I'm going to try again. No. You guys, I just don't even know. I tried. I looked for you. Why does it go away? It says I have 11 guests and it only shows me like 5. So that's awesome. Okay. I'm looking.
That's not showing up in mine either.
Yeah, we don't see you, Bradley. I'm looking for you.
No, it's not there.
Yeah, I don't see you. Okay. Loopy Lucy Talks says, what's the best way to deal with eating disorders and anxiety in school? In truth, get help and work with a dietitian. And that's, I know that's like the same thing, but like seeing a therapist and getting referred to a dietitian who understands eating disorders. Because some dietitians, as much as they try to help, if they don't understand eating disorders, they can sometimes make it worse, and they can be extremely triggering and not really know what to say or do or not say and do and all of that stuff. So I would encourage you to see a dietitian and put together a meal plan and something that you can manage at school, because that's the problem a lot of my clients have, is that when we're at school, the food that's available is so different, and the time that we have to eat is so limited, and sneaking in snacks and getting all that stuff done can be really difficult. But if we have a plan and we work with a dietitian and we get the foods we need and we put together, all of our meals and snacks, then it can actually be great and we can manage it better. And so that's what I would encourage you to do, okay? Let's see. Is anybody in there? Okay, Avery, I'm going to guest you real quick. Let's see.
Be our guest.
Everybody says you need to click on the camera thing, Bradley, and I'm not sure because I'm not in it. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Great connection.
Oh, this is crazy.
Does your shirt say Hoboken?
Yeah.
Are you in Jersey?
I'm not, but my parents are from there.
Oh, very cool.
I'm in Arizona.
Oh, gotcha. The weather's better.
Yeah.
So what's going on?
Okay, so I'm actually seeing my school psychologist. I actually commented on your video yesterday about that, and you answered it. Okay, so
because you had a question of what the difference was, right? Whether school psychologist or counselor. Yeah, I was like, I remember that. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm actually like kind of nervous to go back to school because we're just like ending our winter break. And I see her like once a week, and like some things happened over break that like are kind of like sensitive and like nervous for me to talk about, but like I just don't know what she's going to have to report to people, you know what I mean? And like who she would tell.
So I can tell you a little bit about what she'd have to report, and maybe that will help. Is that kind of what we're hoping to?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and are you 18? No?
No, I'm going to be 18 in March.
Okay. So if you're under 18, things that I would have to report are, we got fireworks again. It's a party. Thanks, Bradley. I'd have to report any abuse. So if somebody hit you, like if a parent hit you, or if someone's being neglectful of you, not, like a parent not taking care of you, not putting a roof over your head, not feeding you, things like that. Sexual abuse. If you were raped, I would have to report it because that would constitute sexual abuse because you're under 18. Those are the things off the top of my head that I know I would have to report. Or if you were a danger to yourself, I'd have to, not report it, but I'd have to talk with you and try to figure out a way to get you help or potentially put you in the hospital.
Danger to others. Yeah,
the danger to self or others. It's like a 50-150 is what we call it. But those are really the only things that we would have to report. But in truth, do you like her? Is she good? Does she hear you out? You feel like you can have good conversation with her?
Yeah, we've talked about like the topic before because it's something that happened like 5 years ago, and now it's like happening again, and like I feel like she had a feeling that it would, you know what I mean?
So that because of that, I wouldn't be so worried about what she's going to have to report because, for instance, what I do is, let's say I had a client who was raped or was sexually abused, and they weren't ready to report it, and they weren't, even though I have to report it because they're under 18, I would have a big conversation with them about it, and I would hope that it's something we can learn to do together. So it would be something that I'd probably consult, like, because as a therapist, we have to, like, cover our ass legally. So I would probably consult with someone that I work, I have a whole group of people I talk with and say, is it okay? Do you think if I waited like a couple of weeks while I talk with her until she feels that it's okay and she's ready and we can do this? And because I don't want it to be a wound. Because that's the thing about like the legal and ethical portions of therapy is like, at the end of the day, my main goal is to keep you safe and to make sure that it feels okay to you. And so if you don't disclose that much information about a situation, we technically don't have anything to report. And you could talk with her about it and how you don't know if you're ready. And so you don't want to tell her anything. And so you're technically tying her hands because she can't report it if she doesn't know who and she doesn't have that much information about it. And then you could do it. I mean, I would encourage you to allow her to, go through it when you feel okay with it. Because if something just happened, I know it could be really hard. Or if it's happened before and now it's happened again, it can be like re-traumatizing. And so it is important for you to talk about it so you don't feel like you're alone with it. But yeah, I mean, it sounds like she's good at what she does, so she'll want to work with you on it. But that's kind of a way for you to work it so that you feel good about it and you feel like when it does happen, it's okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's more like a self kind of thing, like no one's like done anything to me,
Okay.
So
like self-injury and stuff?
Yeah.
She is not mandated to report it.
Okay.
The only reason it wouldn't be reported, be like, are you suicidal? That would be the question. Okay. But that's the annoying thing is like, I think some therapists do report that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But you can't really report it. It'd be like, tell your parents. We aren't going to report it to anybody. It would just be something we would tell but self-injury isn't, in my experience, because I work with it so much, I know it's not a suicide attempt. A suicide attempt is very different. It feels very different. And so I don't report it to parents unless it's happening all the time and I'm worried about their like safety because I think of infection and I wonder, there's more going on.
Yeah.
I usually talk with my client about it. I would bring it up to her and explain what it is for you. Because the only time I've ever heard from viewers that they've told people about it is when they worry that it's suicide, like that it's an attempt. Okay. And so letting her know that you're not suicidal, that it's like things feel out of control, or I am feeling so hurt, or whatever it is, I'm punishing myself, whatever it is that you self-injure, to cope with, letting her know about that.
Okay.
But keep me posted, okay?
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay. Of course. Have a happy New Year, Avery.
You too.
Okay. Bye. Yes, the book Cutting is great, Sadie. I can't recommend that enough. I know I've talked about it. Thanks, Jennifer A. I saw that you tipped earlier, so thank you. I try not to interrupt when I have a guest and tell you guys thank you, but ooh, more fireworks. Party. Oh, thanks, Nikki Fitch. I'm so glad you're here. Hey. Thanks, Bradley. Did we find you? You're in the guest now, maybe? Oh, and I see all of our people.
He's not clicking the guest button.
Okay.
So he's not in there.
I don't see you, Bradley, but
I don't know the software well enough to...
Okay, so people, when you say, when you go to wait and to be guests, can someone tell Bradley how to, oh, thank you, Bradley, that's so sweet, how to get into the guest thing? Because I'm just not seeing him, and I don't block people or anything. There's nothing happening, but I'm looking, and I don't see him. So Bradley, if you look in the chat, someone hopefully can tell you what to click and how to do it, so that you can get in. It's green, Catherine's saying, is that the...
Yeah, there's 3 tabs across the top.
Uh-huh.
Chat, if he's on desktop, chat,
okay.
Audience, guest.
And I see that. I see the 3 tabs.
Right here, you click this one, but that's only on desktop. No idea. Okay. On a mobile device, it could be different.
I don't know if you're on your phone or if you're on a laptop, but I'm on a laptop, so I'm looking across the top little next to where you see me. It says chat, audience, guests. You hit guests and you hit the green. Oh, and Daryl says if you fanned me. Okay, so if you hit the green little guest icon that looks like a camera, then it should pop you in there. Did we? Got it. Okay, let's see. Let's see if we can find you. Sometimes it takes a second here. Oh, Wasky Labbit says I have no tabs, but I'm on an iPad. So it might be different on a device, but it said that you're on a laptop, right? So let's see. Sort by level. Just join. There you are, Bradley. I see you. Here you are. Gotta stick with it sometimes, right? Yay, teamwork is right, Harriet.
I got it. I've been watching these videos for a while. I just want to say thank you for helping me. The past month, I have discovered that I am CPTSD, and I just recently got diagnosed by a psychiatrist, and I'm seeking a therapist in the LA area because I desperately need one. But I don't even really like my psychiatrist. He reminded me a lot of my stepdad, and was just really like spent 15 minutes talking about like I mentioned going to Amsterdam, and he was like, "Oh, you should go to Amsterdam and get yourself some girls and go live it up there." And like I was just like really confused by him. So, but he got back on track and helped me out. But I just want to tell you about my past history. I was abused when I was 4, 5, and 6 years old by my stepmom. She was really resentful towards my mom. She held my head under the water in the bathtub because I splashed my sister, and I would literally poop in the bathtub because of the
like
fear.
little kids do.
Yeah, she cut my eyelashes. She abused me. She kicked me. She left me out on the side of the road one time.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. You're such a little kid.
She set me on top of my little sister one time and left the room and came back and got my dad and made it seem like I was like doing something to my little sister like that I shouldn't be doing. And she was basically trying to get me taken out of the house, like unconspicuously, like, you know, so that my dad would lose me, even though he was trying to fight for me. Yeah. And my mom was constantly like trying to like fight with her, and like they wouldn't cope with each other. Like if I had baseball practice, she wouldn't take me to baseball practice. And I went through years of mediation with counselors, and my dad would just lie and lie and lie for my stepmom to protect her, even though she was in total wrong. Yeah. So recently, I have not had a break from this from the time 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. My mom went from one abusive relationship to a stepfather who wasn't really there for me. He wasn't really loving and compassionate towards me. And everybody knew that. Like all the people who were around me knew that I just didn't have this proper father figure in my life. He was so like controlling of my mom and like admired her and obsessed over her. And basically like didn't really get to know Bradley. And my mom has been suffering from this illness for the past 13 years. And I've been making videos on my channel, YouTube, Brad and Josh Vlog, about like how my mom is like ignoring the fact that she is CPTSD, and how she's like ignoring me and like really in denial and like telling all my family and friends not to listen to me because she wants to live in this like mystery world and like be in this bubble where she's taking care of my stepdad and she can be propped up on body pillows watching Nancy Grace and Dr. Phil. That just makes her PTSD worse and makes her fears worse and catastrophize everything. Like I was trying to invite my sister to go to Times Square when I was visiting her. And she was like, no, there's terrorists in the city. But then the next week she takes my sister to the Rockefeller Center and goes to see a Christmas play. And I'm like, Mom, did you not hear about the Paris thing where the concert hall was blown up by the terrorists? Like, she's just like, she catastrophized everything. And she's been sick for 13 years of her 19-year marriage. And she is like clueless, and she won't get the help. And she's always pointing the finger at me and saying, you're bipolar, you need help. And I'm getting help. I'm like totally getting help. And I'm making videos like expressing myself and the truth about what really happened. And she's like trying to cover up my stories and say like my videos are like bad about Chuck and like how like I'm exaggerating it. And she's not accepting that when my mom was bedridden for like most of my high school years, he would go down. I lived in the dog room for months. He kicked me out many times and I ran away, and he made me live in a dog room. And he would come downstairs and whisper in my ear, you got 150 days, can I kick your ass out? And like whispering nasty, nasty things in my ear while my mom was loopy and bedridden. And I remember the first time whenever she went to the doctor to figure out what it was. And it was because the doctor said she moved from the West Coast to the East Coast, and that my dad had just started his new job, and she was having chronic fatigue and chronic neck pain. And she's getting cortisone shots in her neck and everything. And it's all temporary relief. She's not getting down to the root cause of her PTSD. Yeah. And so now I feel like she's disassociating me, like because I'm coming out with the truth. She's like trying to push me away because she's embarrassed and she's in denial. and she's posted on her Facebook this like really mean thing about like how like I've gone off the deep end, and she said, because I've been contacting friends and family trying to get her help and trying to get people to realize that she is living in this bubble and that she really is sick, and that it's not something like that's physically wrong with her body, that she's not getting to the root cause of her physical pain. Because I've been tested for celiac, I've been tested for all sorts of things because of my physical symptoms from CPTSD. And I don't have celiac. It's my stomach that is hurting all the time from the stress and the
stress and anxiety. The trauma.
Yeah. So she posted on her Facebook, for those family and friends who have received messages from my son Bradley saying I'm propped up on pillows in pain for the past 13 years, and whatever stories he is saying, those of you that are friends of mine know what I have been through with him his whole life, and also it's very clear I'm far from being laid up in bed for 13 years. I'm sorry you are being bothered. He has been on a downward spiral this year. Those of you who know of his history know I have had him with few counselors, but he is an adult now and across the country. The worst of this has begun when I would not pay some fines he received from when he received, and Chuck would not co-sign a loan for him due to his erratic behavior. It has continued relentlessly, and the more I ignore it, the worse it gets. I never post drama on Facebook. I never felt a need to defend myself against crazy, but I do feel a need to apologize to my friends. Now let me explain the co-signing. I only have one mother. I don't have my dad because I haven't seen him in 6 years. My mom has no job, but she relies on my stepdad. So in a time of need, I was relying on her, being like, hey, can Chuck co-sign a loan for me to try to get me out of this 18% interest rate on my car? And she was just giving me these nasty responses and like not wanting to help me because she didn't want to go to Chuck. She didn't want to go to my stepdad and get help for her son. She was not wanting to deal with the stress. And that was a year ago, but she's using this as an excuse to cover up her stories. Like, that's why I'm being erratic right now. And it's not, it's all the stuff in the past. And like when I was visiting them for my birthday last year, I visited them for my birthday. I visited them for 2 weeks in Thanksgiving. I also visited them for a week for Christmas before I went to Thailand. The next year I went into Thailand on January 6th. So I visited them 3 times. And she tells me that I just used her as a stopover for the Christmas trip. And I'm like, really? So what about Thanksgiving? What about my birthday? I drove across the country to go to your second home to visit you. And so when I visited her in New Jersey, I had accumulated all these toll fees. And like a $4 toll had a $50 administration fee on it because I didn't have cash on me when I went to go visit my mom. And when I came back from Thailand, I had all these bills. $300 in tolls. And I was like, hey, Mom, I called her up and I was like, hey, you know, if I just have an EasyPass account number and put it on the back of the toll, I can avoid the administration fee and just pay the $4 toll. And I can PayPal Chuck the $30 in tolls and avoid the $300. Because, you know, $300 can last me a long, long time in Thailand. Yeah. So her erratic, like, irrational response was, you travel all around the world. Why can't you just pay your bills, Bradley? I got tunnel vision. I lost it. I was like, you're telling me your firstborn son that you want me to just pay my tolls and pay $300 extra that I don't need because you don't want to go to my stepdad and just ask for the EasyPass account number and text me the pass account number. So I hung up. And then she tells everybody this different story, like I was acting erratic, and I was being stupid, and I was being bipolar, but when really I came to her.
Yeah, you're like, this would make it so much easier.
Mm-hmm. So now she has all my family against me. She has all my family blocking me. And I'm getting help. I'm actually realizing that I have complex PTSD and bipolar. And she is like, I'm sending her all these videos to show her. Like whenever we were driving in the car, whenever I was younger and my sister and my brother, anytime something happened, she would put her arm out against me and like protect me. That was her reaction. And like recently, since moving to LA, I've had to stop driving because I've had road rage. I've literally beat the crap out of someone's car because they almost drove through a stop sign and almost hit me. I chased after them, and I had so much adrenaline through my body that I punched the car and dented their car. So I had to stop driving, and that's when I seriously realized that I needed help. That I looked at myself and was like, oh my God, like this is something that I've hidden for 25 years, and I really need to find out what it is. And I thought when Kanye West had his mental breakdown, I was like, I had a mental breakdown recently during that time when he had his mental breakdown. So I was like, okay, I need to really dig down and find out what this is really, because it's not Asperger's like the counselors told my mom. It's not ADD like they told my mom. This is something that is really serious, and I have lived 25 years with, and I'm now just discovering what it is. And like, I was watching one guy, and he was talking about it and stuff, and he was like, people need to like realize that you're not like saying these things for a reason, that you need to talk about the abuse to, you know, like my mom, like she needs to accept that he did wrong, and that he, you know, he might be a good person and he might be good to her, but what he did to me was disgusting.
Yeah.
What he did to me was really disgusting. I have dreams because he knew my past. He knew the past I had with my dad. He knew that I was bullied in school. I have dreams where I'm looking above myself, down at me, and I have a big hole on my back, like a wound. And he keeps punching it and punching it and punching it and punching it. And I wake up in this like terror. And it's not something that's just in my brain, like my mom says, like, oh, you just need to put Chuck up, you need to show Chuck respect. He gave you a roof. He gave you all my primary, like my basic necessities because of you, because I was your son. Like, he didn't do anything out of compassion for me because he loved me or wanted me to be happy. He did it like for your happiness.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to like tell my story. I love watching your videos, and you have really helped me understand a lot. And I hope 2017 is a year of healing for me, because
me too. And put your channel link in the chat so people can check it out if they're interested. Because I know a lot of people.
Brad and Josh blog, and our Instagram is Brad and Josh.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Bradley, for being brave and sharing your story.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Bye.
take care. Bye.
Bye.
I think it's great to get a chance to vent, you guys. I know that a lot of us just feel like our stories can't be heard, and like things have happened to us that are so wrong, and family can be really toxic, and something that I would encourage all of you to do if you're able. And I know, Bradley, your situation, everyone's going to be different. But I would encourage you, if you find that any conversation you have with a family member or anything that's going on when you try to reach out and communicate is met with, you know, adversity, fighting, anger, you know, throwing hate your way, know that you don't have to talk to them. Know that you don't have to keep, you know, listening to that garbage. It's just toxic, and sometimes it's not good for us. And I hope that 2017 is healing for you as well. And if you ever need referrals for a different psychiatrist, if you don't like yours, I'm not sure who you're seeing, but I'm pretty well versed in the whole LA area when it comes to psychiatrists, therapists, things like that, because it's where I am. So hopefully I'm able to help if you need that. But we're sending love your way, and I hope that 2017 is much better. Oh, thanks, Smashing Pumpkin. They're sending me notes and say, oh, and Angelica says, stay strong, Bradley, you got this. So lots of love. And if you ever want to look back in the chat, Bradley, people were sending a lot of love your way to let you know that, you know, we're here supporting. And I'm glad. Oh, thanks, Jennifer. Happy New Year. It's a party. And what type of therapist would you want, Bradley? Let me know. And I can offer up some referrals in what area in LA, I guess, because it is pretty large. Thanks for all the fireworks, everybody. Let's answer a few more questions. Oh, thanks, Bradley. And I'm glad that you found the channel. That's something I'm always so grateful for, is when people find the community. They stumble upon it and they realize that, you know, they're not alone, and that there are people out there ready to help, and, you know, that are available. Okay, perfect. Tweet me. That'll be great. Okay, so Maureen says, I don't see a therapist at the moment. Thanks, Keely. I'm glad you're still on and listening and watching. I don't see a therapist at the moment, and waiting lists are long here. Everything is getting worse, and I don't know what to do. Do you have any tips? To be truthful, something that we can do. Thanks, Jaylyn. Whoop, whoop. The truth about it is that we can stay motivated by utilizing some of our own self-help tools. Now, that could be as simple as getting a self-help book that speaks to you, whether you're struggling with anxiety or eating. If it's eating disorder, self-harm, I have workbooks on that. Or if you're in the LGBT plus, you know, realm and you have questions about it, I have a whole workbook on that. So if you find yourself in that community, you can search. I have that workbook for free as well on my website. But the eating disorder and self-injury workbook, if that's something you're struggling with, that can be really great. Also, setting aside, I find what I tell my clients to do when we're going to take a big break from therapy, let's say they're on vacation or I'm on vacation or whatever, is that setting aside at least an hour a week. So let's say 2 chunks of 30 minutes to do some techniques and work on yourself, whether it's a workbook, whether it's, following some of my videos and putting together safety plans or working on the eating disorder or self-harm workbook. Any of those things, can really help you get started and help you feel more contained while we wait for those waiting lists. Because there are a lot of self-help tools out there. And if there's something specific you have questions about, Maureen, let me know. But that should kind of help a little bit. Oh, yay, Kimmy. Good to see you. I missed you guys too over Christmas. Oh yeah, and Jennifer's even saying, I know you guys are talking about the Courage to Heal is an amazing workbook. I just can't even... It's so helpful. It's been so helpful for so many of my clients and so many of my viewers. And if you want recommendations on books, I think I actually have a video. It's an older video. If you want it, Maureen, tweet me and I'll tweet you the link. Because there's a video I put up about where I just shared all the different books that I like. If you guys want more videos like that, I can do those and talk about different tools that I like. Or maybe it's just a live stream type thing. I could do that. I could do Insta Live. Haven't done that yet, but I could show you the books that way too. Okay, Insta stories, but you're live. Sean's not with it, you guys.
So square.
Okay. A question on Patreon says, I've just started taking my antidepressants again. My question is, how can I get over the fear of taking medication that I'll literally have to force myself to take and end up taking it late or not at all? The truth about it with medication, I know a lot of us are scared to take it, and I think sometimes we have to think... Oh, and Crystal says she has a workbook on anxiety, you guys. But I think the thing about medication is we have to think of it as like it's what's going to help us get better. And it's just like we would go for a walk or we would call a supportive friend. Sometimes medication is just part of that plan. And we have to see it as part of our treatment plan so that we can feel better. And instead of focusing on whether or not medication is right for us or we want to, if we're struggling, we have to think this is our only hope for that. And so I'm going to do this because this is what part of my plan is, and this is something I'm going to do to help myself feel better. And focusing on that, I want to get better. I want to get better. Things are shitty, and I want this to help me. And instead of thinking about the medication as a whole, I mean, obviously, if you're having any adverse response or any kind of side effects, tell your doctor and make sure that the medication is right for you. But it sounds like the medication is right. It's just hard to take it. And so just reminding yourself that I want to feel better and this is part of my plan. And knowing that we don't have to be on medication forever, but it might get us just above water enough so that we can use all the tools that we're working on in therapy and other things like that. Okay? And Jennifer, yeah, process not perfection. Very, very true. That's like the poster. Yep. Oh. It's so hard for me. It's like opposite of what I think it's going to be to move. Okay. Laura says, my antidepressant has made me gain weight and made my bulimia so much worse, but my psychiatrist didn't take it seriously. What do I do? Try to find a psychiatrist that understands eating disorders. I have this problem with a lot of my clients, and weight gain from different medications can be extremely triggering. And so we really try to, better manage that and to find a medication that works, and also just processing through it. This is something else you can do. So, okay, if you can't find a new psychiatrist right away, take time to talk with your therapist about what this is bringing up for you, and how you're feeling, why you're feeling this way, okay? Let's do one more guest, you guys. Are you ready? Angelica? Let's do one more guest and then do a couple more questions. And then we're going to call it a day. I'll see you. Hi.
Hi. They fell up the stairs.
Now it's a part.
I know. Trying to get away from my sister. Oh dear.
We made it.
Yeah. So I saw on your Snapchat about your granny, and I hope she's all right.
Yeah, thanks. She is doing well. I'm going to call her today and check in on her, but so far so good.
Because my granny passed away in February this year.
Sorry.
And I'm wondering, I know it's been a while, and obviously it's coming up again, like the time when she passed away. Would you recommend going to counselling when I go back to uni for it, because I think it's been a struggle?
yeah, if you're struggling, like if it's hard for you, because I know everybody's different when it comes to grief and when it comes to losing someone we love. Like it's so weird, right? Like it comes and goes, and we'll have chunks of time that are good, and then we'll have a hard time. And anniversaries can be really hard for people. And so, if that's something that you're worried about, I think it's best to get into therapy early before it's bad, so that you can start talking about it, so it doesn't like surprise us. Because I find that that's when we struggle the most, is when things are surprising, because we're not prepared and we don't have any tools. And so that gives you time to build rapport with the therapist a little bit, get some tools, and then when that does come around, hopefully you'll be able to better manage it. And it's okay to be sad and miss people. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just letting you know that it will be okay and that those feelings are okay. Because often we find that we like try to pretend they're not there,
Yeah.
that everything's fine, and then that ends up making us feel worse, you know? But I would get back in therapy and then keep us posted. Let me know. And we're here to support.
Reading the comments, I'm like, well, that's so embarrassing that I fell over.
Oh, no, it was totally cute. I like that stuff. That's the fun stuff.
Thank you for all your help with your videos as well. They really got me through school after before I got to uni.
Oh, good. I'm glad it's helpful. Let me know if you ever have any, anything you want me to talk about or any topics that I haven't touched on.
Thank you.
Of course. Happy New Year.
New Year.
Bye, Angelica.
Bye.
Oh, and thanks, Emily. Emily said, happy I'm back. Happy New Year. I know I missed you guys last week. It's weird, but I get used to hanging out, and then we didn't get to hang out. But, ooh, it's a party. More fireworks. Ooh, Jalen, thank you. This is so cool. I love YouNow's little things. Remember when we had like the Coca-Cola and the skier? Remember the skier or something that jumped across the screen, and now we got fireworks? They're so clever. Okay. Oh, thanks, Emily. Okay, Georgina's asking. This is actually an interesting question, you guys. Georgina, thanks, Dawn to Dusk. Such a clever name. Oh, more party, you guys. So much party. Thanks, Bradley. Thank you so much. So Georgina says, how can I deal with someone being missing? It's been almost a decade. Hope is killing me, and I can't let go. This is something that's really difficult, because if we don't know what happened to someone and they're missing, we don't know if they're alive or if they're dead or if something happened to them. We have no idea. And it's the unknown that really keeps us stuck and keeps us held to it. And so I would encourage you, if you're not already, to get in therapy and start talking about it, because the truth of it is that we need to grieve the loss of them. Just like I've talked about before, whether or not someone's passed away, we can still grieve the loss. That's why divorce is so hard on people, because it's grieving the loss of the relationship, and it's like a part of your life that you have to grieve. And I know that's not the same as someone going missing, but I'm just saying that because to give you like an analogy to explain why someone doesn't have to pass away, or we don't have to know if someone has died in order to grieve the loss of them in our life. And so I really think that therapy would be the most helpful, because I know there's going to be hope that they'll walk through that door and they'll be back, but the main part of it is grieving the loss of them in your life right now, and processing through all those thoughts that come up and all the things that you think and hope for, and knowing that by talking about it and even maybe joining a group. I don't know if there are groups for that specific thing, but I'm always surprised at the different types of groups there are. But know that there are people out there going through the same thing, and I would encourage you to find a therapist and start talking about it, and then see if they know of a group like that. Start doing some research and maybe join one of those as well, because talking about things, expressing what's going on, and starting the grieving process can really, really help us move forward. Okay? Yeah, and Jennifer said one thing I learned from me is that the grief and loss are not just death. And I think that's something that's really important to remember and to know. And that's why, breakups are hard and endings of friendships are really hard, is because it's still a grief. We're still grieving it, right? It's still grief, and it still takes time, and we're missing them, and that's okay. So give yourself some time. Okie dokie. Let's see. I'm looking for another. Let's guess one more person. How's that sound? Lauren, you ready? And then we'll I'll do a couple more questions, and then we'll call it a day. I'm just having fun with you guys anyways. Oh, hi. Oh, I don't think your mic is on. I don't hear you. Is your phone silenced or something, maybe? Maybe. It's so quiet, we can't hear you. I'll give you a second, Lauren. I'll answer another question. See if you can get your mic to turn on. It might be at the bottom, because mine's at the bottom of my screen below where you see me. And I can hit the little mic button all the way to the right. I don't know if that's yours too, but... Oh, she's frozen. Sorry, Lauren. Eek! Kimmy asked a question, said, is it wrong to grieve an ex? I don't know where she is or if she's even still alive. I miss her every day. Of course it's not wrong. Losing someone, like I said, regardless of what the loss is, whether it's because they passed away or they're just not in our lives, is completely okay and normal. And that's why it takes so much time to get over relationships. If we've had long or intense or whatever type of romantic or friendship relationships, losing a relationship can be really hard and it can take us a lot of time to get over it. And that's completely okay. Give yourself that time. That's why I always encourage people not to rush into another relationship or like swing from one to the next, because we really need that time to grieve the loss of that person and maybe learn something from it. I don't know, figure out maybe why it went wrong or what more we would like. Ooh, thank you, Sunsets Are Lovely. That's a cute name. But taking the time to learn about yourself and to figure out maybe what's better, or maybe like, honestly, when I met Sean, I was like taking a break from dating because I just felt like it was nice to just be me and to not have to think about anybody else or worry about anybody else. And so, yeah, maybe take that time and allow yourself the time to grieve. Okay. I know, Allie, isn't the community great? She says the community, she loves it. So nice and caring and so understanding. We have the best community. Guys, we have 13,000 likes. Oh my goodness. Oh, Angelica, don't worry. Your falling is just, I like it. Who cares? We're not a judgmental community. I think it's really cute and funny and wonderful. And we all trip up, right? I'm super clumsy. I just don't video that.
It's true.
Unless you see me on Snapchat, in which case, I'm sorry. Thanks, Boyd. So, see, Maureen agrees. We agree. Okay, Chelsea's asking, let's do 2 more questions, okay? Chelsea's asking, my dad keeps saying that my anorexia is my fault. Is this true? Of course not. The only thing that we have control over when it comes to mental illness is how we want to work on our recovery. And Wow, guys, I think I need more coffee. But that doesn't mean that we're in control of what the recovery is going to look like completely. That just means that we're in control of our desire to get better. And I would encourage you to focus on that and know that an eating disorder is really a coping skill for something larger. And those often come out of the fact that we weren't taught nor shown any healthy coping skills, or certain things were taken from us, or we were harmed in some way. And so things that should have been in our control were not. Therefore, we take control and we cope using food, and we attach food and our body to feelings and emotions and experiences, and that isn't healthy, but that's not our fault, nor is it really our choice. But you can choose to get better. And so that's what I would encourage you to focus on, that you have the choice to get better, and you have the choice every day when you wake up to choose recovery. And so I would encourage you to just focus on that, focus on your own health, know that you're doing it for you because you deserve to feel better, okay? Okay, last question. Yeah, and Carly says also tell them to shut up. I agree. Okay, Zulacom. I'm sorry if I'm really saying that wrong. Zulaicom? I'm doing my best. Okay. Any differences between clinical psychologists and counselors? In truth, this is something that it is on my list, and it's actually on so there's a list on my phone, and then I take it from my phone and I write it on I just got a text. I write it on a big legal pad of paper. I write it at the top, and then that's when I do my research and make my bullet points. And so it's actually on the legal pad. So it's on step 2. The next step would be filming. Thanks, Emily. The difference is, how long is my list, Maureen? So long. I don't even know. Maybe someday I'll count them, but hundreds. And so I have this list of all the different types of mental health professionals and what that means. Because I know that there's a lot of terms we use that nobody knows what the hell we're talking about. But as a mental health professional, you're like, I know what that means. I talk about it all the time. But as a lay person, you're like, what the fuck does that mean? And so when it comes to a counselor or a clinical psychologist, to you, the person, the client, the person sitting and talking about things, it's not going to feel any different. Okay? Because you're still going to get to talk. Oh, thanks, Bradley, for the likes. You're still going to get to talk about things. You're still going to get the tools that you need depending on what they work on with you and how they work with you. But you're still going to get that from them. So it's not going to feel any different. However, on the like behind the scenes part, like things that I know is that a counselor doesn't have as much schooling as a clinical psychologist. A clinical psychologist has more schooling than me, 2 more years. Because I only have my master's, and to be a psychologist, you have to have your doctorate. So your PsyD or your PhD. PsyD is just a clinical version of a PhD, meaning you get a PsyD when you want to work with people, and you get a PhD usually when you want to do more research-based, because it's definitely more science research-based when you're in school. So that is the difference. A counselor now depends if they're a licensed counselor or just a counselor. I was a counselor when I got out of undergrad. So I just went through 4 years of university with a major in psychology, and I was considered a counselor. If they're a licensed counselor, there's a whole nother process, and I'm not that, I don't understand it that well because I don't have any friends or colleagues that have done it, but I know that there is a process, and they take a licensing exam just like I did. It's just a little different when it comes to schooling. And also, clinical psychologists back in the day used to be the only ones that were able to administer certain assessments, but that's changed so that if I get trained in an assessment, I can administer it too. But I'll do a more intense video about this because I know it's very confusing, but hopefully that explains a little bit and helps you understand the difference. Okay? I love you all. I will see you tomorrow if you can be on. I'll do a 1 p.m. one before we ring in the new year because I missed you guys last week, so I thought I'd do 2 this week as well. And thank you for all tuning in on Facebook. And if you haven't checked out my posters, hey, they're at dftba.com. You know the Don't Forget to Be Awesome. Heyo. And you can just search for Kati Morton and you can look at my posters. And they will ship out quickly. Apparently they get really quickly. Kimmy already got hers. Pantalina got hers. People got their posters. Yay! Okay, I love you. And I will see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Bye!